Wow, okay, so hi. It's been quite a while, it feels like. It's been a few weeks, I believe, since I have uploaded anything. I haven't really planned out what I'm gonna say. Hopefully it won't be too all over the place, but I just decided to sit down and give you a little update where I've been, what happened. Because I didn't stop uploading because I was just like, I don't really care anymore. It's not what I want to do. I had a lot going on personally, and it took a toll on me, and I really needed to just step back and focus on myself. So, there's a lot of things that have kind of transpired for me personally that someday I want to open up and share and, use as a part of my testimony and something to share with other people. But right now, there's still so much of it that I'm still trying to come to terms with myself and trying to learn and trying to figure out, and I'm still trying to collect my own thoughts about everything. So I'm not exactly completely ready to share everything that I want to share at some point. And when I do share, I want to be wise about it. Like I said, I don't really know where to start, so I'm just gonna kind of talk and see what happens. I will say, I guess I'll start. It pretty much kind of started last year. I want to say in July, I had my first breakup ever. First boyfriend, my first love, and I'm gonna try not to cry. This person that I loved very, very much, and I still do, was a part of my life for 6 years, and we thought we were gonna marry each other. And I realize now that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with thinking or believing or hoping to marry somebody that you love. Like, that's what love is. That's what makes love beautiful and great. But, there was some things that weren't right for me. No matter how much I loved him, and no matter how much I thought the world of him, at the end of the day, there's things that you have to think about when it pertains to marriage, and I had to pay attention to those things, even though I didn't want to sometimes. It can be so hard sometimes, dating and trying to find somebody you want to marry, and when you're young and you're in your love, you just want to think that everything's going to work out, and sometimes it doesn't, and that's the hardest part, is accepting that it does not matter how much love you have for somebody, it doesn't mean it's going to fix everything, and so I have learned so much through, my first dating experience, and we weren't even together for 6 years, but we had feelings for each other for a very long time, and there's a lot of things that happened through those 6 years, some great, some not so great, but at the end of the day, I don't think I would go back and change anything. It was a mutual breakup. After praying and having conversations with my mom, and no matter how much I didn't want it to come to an end, we were at a place in our relationship where we both knew it was coming to that place. We just both didn't want to accept it. But there came a point where I felt God speak to me and give me a dream, and it was still so hard. It was excruciating. I'm not even trying to I sometimes have problems pronouncing words, so let's forget that word. It was so painful. Probably right now one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, but I wanted to obey the voice of God. And, I know ultimately that God is looking out for me and has a plan on my life that, even though I don't know what it looks like all the time, I trust him. We both made the decision to go back to being friends. I had to come to terms with him not being what I desire and what I need in a future husband. And he came to terms with he was never going to be that for me. As much as he loved me, it was hard. But we made that choice. And I believe it was for the right reasons and the right thing to do ultimately. I started going to therapy a few months after, which I was afraid to even tell people because there was this stigma to me, or I thought there was a stigma that going to therapy meant there was something wrong with you or that you couldn't handle your emotions. I started to realize that there's no shame in needing help. There's no shame in asking for help from somebody that has been educated in the area. And so I started doing that, and I've been going to therapy for I think 5 months now. And there's so much that you have to work through. Like, I feel like I'm still talking about the same stuff, but it's just because it's hard. It's hard to undo things that you've thought and that you've dealt with for so long. So, I deal with anxiety and I deal with abandonment issues because of my past and my dad. And my breakup kind of stirred a lot of those emotions back up. My best friend and I still consider him my best friend. Because he is still right now the person that I can ultimately say that I've never been closer to anybody else. We made the choice at the time to remain best friends, and I feel like, a lot of people, they break up, they take space. Well, we didn't do that. Things changed and we knew, so there were certain things that we did separate, obviously, but we still hung out quite a bit. And, I know that it probably made things difficult at the time, but, we wanted to just hold on to what we had, and we didn't want to let go quite yet. And we could have taken that space, but honestly I'm glad that we didn't, because I got to have a few more months with him, and before a lot of change happened, So, even though we were hanging out, he was trying to come to terms, I was trying to come to terms, we were trying to get to a place where we would just see each other as friends and only friends, and obviously that was more of a challenge than maybe need be, but that's because we decided to still be so connected and close. So because of that, when he officially started seeing somebody else, it took a toll. It was very difficult. Not because I didn't understand, but because it's hard. It was hard for both of us to figure out what that meant for me, what that meant for him and our friendship. No matter how much we wanted things to stay the same, they just can't, So we were both dealing with things personally, mine on a different degree and his on another. And it was hard, and some things happened that hurt me. Some things happened that affected him as well. So because of that, we ended up, getting to a place where we need space. which scared me. It scared me so much because I thought I was losing him. I thought it was the end forever, and that everything that, we had built in 6 years was just gone. So it was hard. So we took some time apart, we stopped talking, we stopped seeing each other, texting. Took many nights of crying my eyes out. Through it I've been learning so much about myself. And I'm glad, as much as taking that space from each other was hard, it gave me the opportunity to really heal and to say that it was necessary at some point, because I needed to get to a place for myself where I fully accepted. It was one of those things where my mind knew, but my heart still didn't know. And, it does now, and it doesn't mean that everything is always great, but I am finally at a place where I am truly starting to see the value in myself. And the value isn't based on a relationship or the amount of friends I have or the position in my church. It's just on me and God, and I'm finally learning that I am capable of so much more than I thought I was, and that, I can do things that I was always afraid to do, and I'm beginning to feel whole with myself, and it feels great because I know that that's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be whole when you're with somebody. You're supposed to be whole with you and with God, and then God brings somebody into your life that complements you. And so I've been learning so much about myself, things that I hope to share, so that's kind of the bulk of it. I just needed to take a step back. Another thing that I've been doing is I joined a course called Pretty Focus, where I am being taught photography, food photography, and so I'm in training for that, and once I graduate and build my portfolio, I will start working for content creators and bloggers, and that's my goal. My goal is to eventually make that my full-time income, my main job, and live off of that pretty much. I've also made the big decision to move out, which is huge, but I'm moving out with my friend, and we're planning on getting a third roommate, but I hope to, maybe bring you guys on that journey as well. We're going to be going apartment shopping, which is pretty exciting. Big things are happening for me. I'm excited, I'm a little nervous, but I feel like this is a stepping stone for me, and progress, and a testimony to my growth, and I'm proud of myself. I am glad to say that I still have my best friend. We have recently started keeping in contact, and we decided to, take things slow, not rush into things, but we still mean the world to each other, and we still want to be a part of each other's lives, and we are personally trying to figure out what that looks like in a healthy way. But these are my personal decisions, I'm not saying that everybody should do things how I've done them. There are things that I'm thankful that I've done, and things that are harder because of the way that I chose to do them. But at the end of the day, I'm learning a lot, and God can take any situation and turn it into something beautiful. And then when I get back, that's when I'm going to be going apartment shopping. So that's kind of as best as I can sum it up. I'm going to keep pressing forward and growing and learning, and just, being excited for what God has for my future and in store for me. I know it's great things. It's not always easy, and it's not always not scary, but He's got me. So I just wanted to share with you guys, open up a little bit, be transparent, and yeah, I guess that's it for now. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.